Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Real Collective podcast. My name is Brendan McKeigan, and with me, as always, is
Sean Tassé, your friend in real estate.
That's right. Today, we've got a great show for you guys. We're going to be not quite predicting the future yet, but laying the groundwork for it because we're going to be talking about 2021, a year in review. And I know maybe some of you don't want to talk about 2021 because it wasn't that much fun, but it's going to help you if you're thinking of buying or selling this year about what to do and how to plan it and how to go about it. I think we've got a good lineup here of reasons why things happen the way they did. And we're going to dive into those. We're going to talk about them a little bit. If you have been enjoying the show so far, the last few episodes as well, please give us a like, a share, subscribe. Check us out on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Download us there, and that would be wonderful. So Sean, today we are talking about 2021, a year in review. And let's just start it off with the big one, the big C, COVID, the effects of COVID on real estate and how that kind of messed with prices.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as in any planning effect, you want to look to the past to help predict the future. And that's, I think, the benefit of having this conversation today. So COVID had a bunch of effects, not just on real estate, but on pricing for everything. And of course, it's no secret that the price of real estate went up in Ottawa this year. And I would say probably the same across the country. It's not an area that we specialize in, but I mean, we certainly keep a good handle on the market across the country. But yeah, there's been some real major effects, and they've sort of played their way in. And I'm sure you've heard people talk about supply chain issues and not being able to get materials and goods in, and the effect that has on process. And sometimes the longer things take, the more expensive they get, right?
Yeah, and especially if you don't know how to properly perform a U-turn with an ocean liner, maybe a canal's not the best spot for that. I want to throw that out there. If anyone's thinking of getting their ocean liner captain's license, this and then land on both sides is not where you want your boat to be. That will affect the entire world.
Yeah. Well, the Panama Canal is certainly a faster way through if you go straight through it.
Yeah.
So
it's Panama drift.
Yeah. Just really go right through it. Yeah, not gonna work.
You guys, watch this.
Yeah, hold my beer. Yeah, so I mean, that had a huge effect on everything. Not to mention, we also saw employment levels dropping off. So people who would typically, there was articles in the news about, people who were younger than 20 years old driving delivery vehicles and driving like big 18-wheelers because they just couldn't find people to drive, because it was just it's been really hard in terms of finding people to do work. And as a result, a ton of prices of consumables, things that we and everybody else use, prices have all gone up, right? Price of food has gone up by 10%. Price of gas has gone up by 11%. Goods and services, goods and materials have gone up by 39%. All of that in 2021. So, across the board, not just in real estate, we've seen price increases, that we, typically don't see year over year. I think, average inflation rate is 3 or 4%, 2 or 3%. It's not in those sorts of numbers. So I think it caught a lot of people off guard. Not to mention, if anybody's parents of young families, we're all exhausted, right? This whole learning from home and being at home and lockdowns and quarantines, everybody just wants life to be normal. And it's been tough. It's been a tough year for individuals and for people. It's not really what we want to talk about. We want to talk about what the effects of all this has been. Yeah.
Well, it drives up prices, right? And when people got to put money towards those things, maybe some other things like home buying and things like that need to go a little bit on the back burner. Like first year, we had the great toilet paper crisis. And then we had last year was lumber. Like it went from just cotton to being able to make your own toilet paper by buying it in bulk bricks of wood.
Look, yeah, I've some of the people that I follow who have like mountain biking channels and stuff like that. They were talking about felling their own trees and making their own lumber just because it was that much of an issue, right? So there's people are trying to solve this as best they can. Another thing we saw this year, and I don't know if it's necessarily an effect of COVID, but it might be an effect of the real estate market in general, was a new sort of auction house coming to the market where people are auctioning their houses in an open market as opposed to in a closed bid market, which is typically the way that realtors have been operating. The benefit, I suppose, of an open market is that you, if you're buying, get to see what the other bids are. So you're not overbidding. The problem is the transparency of the particular company that we're referring to right now is not there, and it doesn't necessarily protect the best interests of the buyers. That's my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own. But it was an interesting thing to see in 2021 when we're talking about real estate in Ottawa, that there was a new sort of business model that was out there. So one thing that we did as the Real Collective is we figured out a way to offer clients the protection that you would have come to expect from working with a professional realtor, and offer an open bidding system if you'd like to go that way.
Yeah. And that, like anything in real estate, some things are going to work for some people, some things aren't. Like if you are an investor already, maybe you can take a stab at selling your own house. It's maybe not going to get you the most bang for your buck, but same thing with these auction sites. I mean, yeah, you're not necessarily protected the way you would be, but like, what if your financing doesn't go through? What if there's something detrimentally wrong because they haven't disclosed it, because they're not technically a real estate brokerage? Maybe there's a crack in the foundation. You're not going to know until after you buy that house, because there's no inspection going on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, to each their own. It might work for some, but yeah, I would tread lightly, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, everybody's entitled to their own business model.
Sure.
What we want to do is ensure that the folks that we're working with are protected. And that's the most important thing. So it was interesting to see a new and different business model sort of show up in the midst of everything that was happening in terms of real estate. And the real stark increase in terms of prices actually was happened really early in the year in 2021, where we saw these prices that realtors were pricing houses at 2020 prices, and essentially houses were selling, and we heard about this, right? Oh my goodness, $100,000, $200,000 over asking price. Oh, how much over asking are you getting? And I think as the year wore on, most realtors got a sense of, okay, well, here's what the new normal is. Here's what the new price is, right? And it sort of started to fade a little bit in the summertime, and then pick back up in the fall, and then started to fade a little bit in the winter, which is typical seasonality that we've seen in Ottawa. We sort of lost track of that in 2020, but we saw more seasonality, more regular seasonality that we're used to seeing in 2021, which is nice. The only real difference I'd say is that the springtime started sooner. And I think, again, I don't want to get into predictions, but I think that's what we're starting to see now. There seems to be a real big pickup in terms of some of the prices that we're seeing on stuff that's selling. It's like, whoa, and other realtors that we're talking with, it's like, oh yeah, that's not expected. These aren't the prices that we're expecting to see. So it'll be, again, not getting into a prediction thing, but starting to notice some trends, especially really early on in the year. Hey, there's some stuff that's happening here. The prices seem to be picking up right away. So
yeah, and that's something to be cognizant of. And I know something that we talk to our clients about when we're working with them is talking to them about what homes are worth and not what homes are listed for. That's completely arbitrary. It's like going to the outlet mall when they have the MSRP. It's this tag on a sweater for $130, but then it's at $70, and you're like, wow, this is $50 off or whatever it is. And then like, well, no, like that's just a marketing technique that they're using to get you to pay that much for it, when really it's worth $70. And even then, when they put a sale price on it, like, wow, even more off the sale. So what I tell my clients is, what do you think this home is worth? What do you value this home at? And when it comes to housing prices and being like, it sold for 300,000 over asking price, well, then it was probably priced 300,000 below market value. Like that's just the name of the game. That's how it goes. And I think that led to what we saw last year too, was maybe the emergence more of upscaling your home. So a lot of townhomes to 4 and 5 bedroom homes were happening.
Yeah. And I'd say a lot, the other thing it led to is on the flip side, a lot of buyer fatigue. People saying like, I don't want to play this game anymore. Right. And so that was it. Last year was a hard year for buyers. Even still, we set a new record in terms of number of homes sold. We've never sold over 20,000 properties in one calendar year in Ottawa. And we did that last year. We sold 20,302. As hard as it was for buyers and as thin as the inventory was, we still set a new record in terms of number of homes sold. So that was, pat on the back for everybody, but it still has this same inventory issue. And it's been something that's been creeping up over the last few years, is that there is not a lot of inventory. And now to start the year, we've got less than 1,000 houses for sale on the board. When we were in a more either balanced or a buyer's market, we had something like 10,000 or close to 10,000 homes for sale. So a tenth of the properties available for sale, and more people who are wanting to buy. And that's what's putting all of this upward pressure on these homes, right?
Yeah, and I think that goes to show how fast the city is growing and how many people are coming here when we're in a seller's market and we're still breaking records for number of homes sold.
Yeah.
Like people are just grabbing them up. And new home builds, people wait in lineups and like their iPhones, and they're done. That's it. They got them, they're gone.
Yeah.
And they don't last for long. You gotta just be ready to go.
Yeah, last year, home builders were having such a hard time, maintaining their inventory that they actually some home builders. First of all, they made it so that they didn't want the help of agents anymore. But then they also started auctioning their homes. Some home builders were doing that. Some homeowners were doing. Some home builders were doing lottery systems where it's like, hey, everybody put your name in. We're releasing 10 properties, and there's 100 names in the bin. And if you get drawn, you get to be the person who buys this house. That's the issue that we're having with inventory right now. And the real problem is there's no solution. They haven't figured out, here's how we're going to build more homes. Nobody's put that together yet. And that's, as much as people say, you realtors, you're driving up the price with and this and that and the other thing. Well, here's the thing. There's two sides to it, right? There's the buyer side, the people who want to get into the market. And then there's the seller side, who's the people who want to get out of the market. And in a seller's market, the sellers get to dictate the terms, and the terms are they want more money, right? So ultimately, in a free market, supply and demand is what drives it, and that's what we have, right? So,
yeah, and that goes back to goods and materials. When the home builders are like, well, a new townhome's going to cost $800,000, and you're like, are you kidding me? And then they just say, well, price of lumber has gone up. It's a little bit more settled now, but some home builders were just, at least I believe, just kind of jacking the prices up on their model homes or their coming soon homes so that people wouldn't buy them, so that they could play catch up on the homes that they have already sold, so they could build those in the right time frames.
Well, yeah, there were a few builders who sent a letter out to, and I don't remember the exact name of the builder, but they sent a letter out to all of the people who had deposits from and said, hey, yeah, sorry, unless you want to pay $100,000 or $200,000 more for the home that you already agreed to buy at that price, we're not building this home for you anymore. And people just got handcuffed, where they're either out their deposit or they're stuck paying more money that they couldn't afford to build, couldn't afford to pay, and that's I don't think that's fair at all. I think that was a terrible move on the parts of the builder, and it really left a lot of people in a lurch. Not to mention, you were talking about the price of new homes. It's not just the price of lumber, all materials, right? If goods and materials went up by 39%, then the cost of it went up by 39%, and there's no labor. Like there's a shortage of people to do the work, right? And so what's going to happen there? You've got people who, oh, well, it's delayed and it's delayed and it's delayed. Well, the longer you delay, we've talked about this before when we're talking about our own personal renovations, the longer you delay, the more it's going to cost, right? Because time adds cost. So it's just there's a lot of things that are all playing in together and really affecting ultimately the value of these homes and the prices. So and of course, the prices, we haven't even talked about how the prices have changed in Ottawa. So the average price of a residential property went up to just under $720,000 year, like for the entire year of 2021, which is an increase of 23.6%. If you ever want, and you can go back and look at my prediction that I made for 2021 at the beginning of the year, I said the average price of would go up by 25%, and it went up by 24%. And I don't think anybody else said that we were going to see that in terms of increases. So I just want to
pat yourself on the back for that one. And I think you're maybe even closer / conservative if we're talking about home prices as opposed to condominium prices, because those are a little bit lower. I think that was a 16% increase for condos, which is still huge. Yeah. That's still a huge increase for year over year. And then I think it was like 26 for freeholds. Freeholds
were 23.6 and
right.
The average 719. Condos, you're right, 16.1 exactly. And that was 419 is now the average price of a condo. And overall, when you combine both of them together, the average price for both homes and condos in Ottawa is at 645, which is a 22% increase from last year. So at the end of 2020, the average, just to give you a sense, was 530 for both homes and condos. And at the end of 2021, it was 645. Well, you own a house, you just made $120,000, something like that. I mean, lots of people's houses made more than they did this year.
Yeah.
Which is pretty significant. So, we talk about what to do moving forward. Buy a house, like buy it quick. You know what I mean? The longer you wait, the worse this is going to get.
Yeah, get into something, hold on to it, make some changes that is just going to increase the value, make the smart renovations that we've talked about before, and set yourself up for success to get the home that you maybe want to be that forever home. Get that down the line. Like, use your money to make more money, which sounds like the easiest thing in the world to do, but obviously that's what we're here for. We're here to help you out. And with that note, we're going to take a quick break. Check out this infotaining video. You're going to love it. We'll be right back on the Real Collective podcast.
How do you want to start this video?
I think it's best if you'll come out of the vestibule, and then we can have a festival. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 204 floor. All right, guys. Today we get into. Hang on a sec. Whew.
I got.
What a fuck.
Finally. We're down there, Hercules.
I'm dressed like this. I feel strong. All right, everybody. It is. Doesn't matter what it is.
Thursday.
Street name in Richcraft.
Sonoma model.
But hang on, let's get this right. Here in beautiful. What the fuck's his name?
Crestmead? No.
What is it? In the heart of. What's his name?
Center Point.
Why can't I remember it? Beautiful. What do we have here? Meticulously well maintained. Giving you a really neat sense of
this. Now, I tell you.
Stop telling me. Start again.
This place, I tell you. No, I tell you. Now, I tell you. We had. What was that? What do I keep saying? Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Stop telling me. Just tell me.
I tell you, you're gonna. I tell you. Now, I sure tell you.
Nope.
Wow, I tell you. Wow, I tell you this. Now, Sean, I tell you, I know you weren't in there, but. Let me tell you.
Tell me, Elliot. Tell me all about it. Got a bathroom on the second floor. This is the third floor. Awesome living rooms. This is the dining room.
Brand new. Not brand new.
Original hardwood floors throughout, and they're in great shape. That's not true. As Elliot can attest to, the electrical panel's been completely updated.
It has not. I need to sit down with a guy I know
Pal? Maybe a friend?
and talk about the weather.
Yeah, I guess when you got nothing else to talk about, you talk about the weather. A guy I know. That's all you got?
I did.
Oh, hi there.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Wispy clouds in the sky. Can we start this again?
Woo, that house is a beauty. Wow, that house is a beauty. Woo, that house is a beauty. Woo, that house is. Wow, that.
Hour and a half, Elliot. We're gonna use it all in the backyard. Oh, hi there. Oh, hi there. Oh, hi there.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with?
Now, one of the new, you could use it as a stay-at-home office and having the opportunity to cheese and fries. Not to mention, you've got your laundry. Why are you being a creep?
I didn't know you were coming in.
Anytime.
Wow, look at those pillars.
Oh, pillars of the community?
Oh, you dimbat! He means these pillars.
Oh, yes, they are great.
Whoop.
Because I used to live here. So if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you.
11 Rutherglen Terrace.
Yep.
11 Rutherglen
Rubber
Terrace.
baby buggy bumpers.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers. 11.
So tell me all about it. Hot cocoa.
Yeah.
I wanna...
What's up? I'm Justin. No.
Should we go take a look?
We should, but it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And if your kids are like mine, they have a short attention span and like to run off. Well, guess what? It's fenced in. So you don't have to worry about them going that far into the bush and then all of a sudden it's The Walking Dead. What would you tell somebody who's looking for their next home?
Well, I don't know my line.
It's an absolutely bungalow.
Elliot, I can't take you anywhere.
No more luxury listings for me.
Absolutely not.
5, 10.5.
Okay.
Magical. Mystical. Magnificent. Oh, finally. Our guests are gone.
Well, it wasn't for heels here, I wouldn't have been that
Can you do
tall.
that move again? Or you went like this? Sailor.
I'm gonna say this for the food career.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, like, don't stop. Don't stop. I mean, I have to leave, but just don't stop.
Okay, ready?
Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. So when you come down to the beautiful bottom of the, so when you come down the what the f is wrong with my words? It lends in. What a great place for a family. And here I am cooking up a storm. This is where I right over. You wake up.
Ladies and gents, attention! That is the house with we.
Say.
Ladies and gents, attention! With realty. Oh,
I'm hearing the birds chirp. Caw-caw, caw-caw. This is great. So if you guys would like to see this home or any others,
Is that a vulture?
give us a call today at 314-318. Of heart, you know, this is it.
It is, eh?
I don't know. Really digging these back to school vibes. I've got my pencil, my apple, you know, back to school, election's over, COVID's over. Nope, not making a COVID joke.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Collective podcast. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on the YouTube channels. If you're listening to us right now, please tell your friends about us on the Apple Podcasts and Spotify networks. What we're going to talk about in the second half of the show, we did a little bit of a year in review, and now that we've started a new year and it is the winter time and we still have COVID, we're going to talk about some things you can do outside. Let's talk about some fun things, some ways to kind of just alleviate some of that stress, maybe some good things for your mental health. What are we doing first, Sean? Tell me about your escapades with skates over your Christmas holiday.
Yeah. So for the first time in a long time, I went outside to go skating at the local rink and played a little game of pickup shinny hockey with some local kids. And I thankfully was not the oldest man there. There was a man who was older than I am. So, shinny's like a real quintessential, you don't need pads. All you need is, pair of skates and a stick, and just go out and have fun, shoot the puck around and, get a good sweat. It was, honestly, I haven't done that in a long time. And it really brought me back to being a kid. And for the last 2 years, I like playing team sports, soccer and volleyball and stuff like that. And for the last 2 years, I haven't. Right. So it was really nice to just get out and get a sweat on and have a little fun on the rink with some locals. So, yeah.
I took my dog to Bruce Pitt for the first time.
Ooh.
Yeah, because my sister was coming with her kids, as per COVID guidelines. And my dog has a lot of energy, so I took him to Bruce Pitt for the first time. And he's been to other dog parks, but this was the first time at Bruce Pitt, and it was like literal Christmas for a dog. He kept looking back at me like, "Are you serious? Like everywhere?" And there's no fences, and he was just gone. But he was gone, but then would always like look for me and then run back like, "Is it okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, go ahead." "Oh my God, this is the best." So I think if you have a dog, or maybe if you're just a dog lover, go to Bruce Pitt pretty much anytime and just walk around if you want those other dogs there. If you want to maybe have it not so busy, maybe mid-morning, mid-afternoon might be your best bet around lunchtime, and maybe stay clear of weekends. But even still, there's a great big trail there. There's a lot of open space as well, so you can distance yourself. But it was amazing, and my dog loved it. And when my dog gets excited, he pants and just like sweats. So he had like an ice beard going on. It was great. It was great.
Is there a sliding hill also like right beside there?
Yeah, there's like a small little toboggan hill that some kids are on. I could hear them having a grand old time.
See, I feel like yes, dog parks, especially like, I think it's that and Conroy are the two like good dog off leash spots. I feel like tobogganing is another real good mood boost, in terms of finding fun things outside to do in the wintertime, because that's how we're going to be connecting with friends for the foreseeable future, right? Is let's get outside and hang out, and what can we do to get outside and to do something fun. And I don't know about you, man, but I went sledding a couple times over the holidays, and it's been great with the kids.
I tried to go, and this was actually last year. I tried, not last year, but you know what I mean. The previous Christmas, and there's a hill near my house. Bought some tubes, took my niece and nephew, and we went, and the tubes did not slide. They went like 5 feet, and then went. Turns out they were for water and not tobogganing, and apparently there is a big difference. They would go like so slowly down the hill. All these kids are just like in line in a toboggan, holding on to each other and stuff like that. They're just like, "Hey, yay!" And they're just like, "Wee."
What was on the bottom of it, like sandpaper or something?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but it was like, it must have been textured enough to just like grip the snow. Yeah, for a tube that's supposed to just sit in water, which it kind of was, it didn't work very well.
Yeah. Well, listen, it did its job if it didn't sink into the hill.
Yeah, that's true. It was very buoyant. Stayed in one place.
When when you were a kid growing up, did you guys have GTs? You do a lot of GT racing?
Oh yeah. That's when they first came out. That was like a big gift one year, was the GT Snow Racer, the Brett Hall edition.
Yeah, Brett Hall edition. Yeah. That's a lot of fun. I feel like the hills around here and like the age of the kids that we've got right now, they're not GT ready, but we've got a small hill, and somebody showed up with like a GT. I'm like, whoa, look at you.
Yeah.
The kids were a little older, like they were like 10 or something like that. So it's fun. Sliding.
Have you been cross country skiing before?
Like when I was a kid.
Yeah. We did a section on it in high school, and that might have been the last time that I did it. And I don't know if there's another comedian who has a bit about this, but it was just like, what is a way that we could make walking through the snow more difficult? And that's what cross country skiing is to me. It's so much more of a pain than I feel like it's worth. And especially when you're trying to turn, you're click, 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 click.
No, I learned how to turn. Like you got your skis, you stick one in the snow, and then you like, I was young and nimble, so I could like move my leg backwards, and then the other one would come and join up with it. Yeah. But you know what I did pick up recently? So no to cross country skiing, and you know what? There's a lot of people who enjoy it, and it's a good workout, I'm sure, for them. And it's it's good. Just find a way to get out in nature, right?
I don't care if people do it and like it. Go ahead, have fun. I just think it's pointless.
There.
Just go for a jog.
Right. Like I mean, it also has the effect of like holding you up on really high snow, right? But
they'll thin the skis though.
But they
skis are so
they're long. They're long. They're displacing your weight over a long, so you could be on thick snow. But one thing that I found recently that I really enjoy is snowshoeing.
Really?
Yeah. Because you can go, like, we used to live right across from the Gatineau Park, and so there's a big mountain that you could go up, and you could jump off these big boulders and just land like a pile of snow. And it was a lot of fun. Not for kids, just more for me.
Yeah. Do you check the snow, like when you're diving off a rock cliff into the water? Do you
No. I'm probably not as cautious as I should be.
Yeah, because when you're in the mountains, there's a good chance you could jump from one rock into another rock. So.
Yeah, or like a protruding stick that the snow is like right here. Right?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
No, that's not for me. I think I went snowshoeing once as a kid, and I still kept sinking in it. And I'm like, how big do these things need to be?
Did you have the old snowshoes that were like wooden and looked like tennis rackets?
Yes.
Yeah. See, they've got these newer ones. The one I have now is like metal, and it's a little bit less. It'll remind me of my childhood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, ours were part of the Iroquois village. That's where we did it as kids. I think it's called Scanado, and it's near London, Ontario.
Cool.
Scanado Village, and they took us all out on snowshoes as kids, and it was fun because you're a little kid trying it out for the first time. But then, like, I tried it again when I was older. I'm like, this, I just keep going through stuff.
Yeah, or every step you take, it's like
yeah.
How wide apart do I have to walk my feet for this to work?
Yeah. I was never very good at those.
No, I don't. You know what? I don't like cross country skiing. I really enjoy downhill skiing. I don't get out as much as I wish that I did. But that's maybe you could start to tell a little bit more about me. Is I'm like, give me the thrill, right? Give me the speed. Give me something fast. So downhill skiing sort of serves that for me.
Yeah, I same thing. I can't tell you the last time I've been skiing, but I love it. I've always wanted to just try it, and I know they have like the little baby ones that you can do it on, but I've always wanted to try ski jumping. I think it would be the coolest thing in the world, and I need that I just want that, just fly through the air like, wow, it'd be great.
Hey, you know what else is great to look forward to? We got the Olympics coming up, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that there's a bunch of men's league hockey players that think now is their shot to play for Team Canada since the NHLers can't play. Like, so like tryouts?
Yeah.
Bunch of 40-year-old guys that drink beer after their games or during, and they're like, hey, let's I don't know, I'm a pretty good goalie. I could play.
Yeah, like the guy who I was playing shinny with his adult kids. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think whatever it is you do, I think it's important to get out and breathe fresh air and move. Yeah. Oh, the other thing I really want to try, and apparently they've got these bikes that you can rent, downhill mountain bikes for the winter that you can rent from. I don't know if you can rent downhill bikes, but you can rent downhill bikes at one of the ski hills, and that would be a lot of fun. I like mountain biking a lot. I don't have a winter bike with those really fat tires, but I would like to try that.
Yeah. I also like to try just snow blades, which I've never done, with the shorter skis that are wider with the things. Because I like, even when I was a kid, I loved rollerblading and like jumping off ramps and stuff. And I'm like, but this with skis would be cool. And then they came out with them kind of in that phase where I wasn't going to ski hills.
Yeah.
I want to try them. I think that'd be fun too.
I feel like if you go to a ski hill, they're popular enough that you might be able to rent them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No poles. That's what I mean. Just, I don't like poles. I don't want them. Get them out of here.
Yeah. That's that'd be cool. I tried snowboarding once and I just fell like 16 times and I broke my jacket. My wife constantly laughs at me for that. So I don't try and snowboard anymore. Like, I know what I know, which is skiing.
Yeah, I don't like feeling confined like that. So even my feet locked into a snowboard just mentally plays with me. And it's not for me. Can't do it. But I was just gonna say what the best part about all of these winter activities was.
Tell me.
That is the after party, or the après ski, as some people call it, which usually involves some form of hot beverage, whether that be hot cocoa, or that maybe is hot chocolate, just regular old hot chocolate.
Whoa.
Man, all of them.
Hang on. There's a difference between hot cocoa and hot chocolate?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think if you use actual cocoa and do that, and then if you actually melt down chocolate and mix that with milk, maybe that's the difference.
Could be.
I do like making up winter beverages. That's been very fun for me.
Such as?
I have mixed coffee with whiskey and added in some rum chata, which is like a cream liqueur.
Okay.
And it has like a little bit of like a cinnamon flavor to it too. So it's like that perfect kind of winter beverage. Rum chata has just been great for the holidays. For anybody who likes to just add a little something to some beverages. It's good with just coffee. I like it with hot chocolate. But otherwise, yeah, man.
I don't know what rum chata is. I also don't drink. So
yeah, I know. I'm kind of talking on deaf ears here, but
fill me in. What is rum chata?
It's a rum cream liqueur. So yeah. So it's kind of like a Bailey's, but I think it's just more delicious.
Fair.
But you just have to you got to be careful with it, because there's something about hot beverages where you're like, oh, this doesn't have an effect on my body as far as alcohol goes. It's a hot beverage.
Right.
Yeah. Or hot wine. Hot wine. That's another good one. The difference between that and regular wine is the temperature.
That's it.
I don't know.
I feel like we've talked about it before. I had over the holidays, I had my very first experience that I liked with an eggnog variant. And it wasn't eggnog, but it was like this is for the straight edge vegans in the house. It was like almost like a soy milk eggnog. I forget the company who made it, but it was absolutely delicious. It was like and I didn't think that it would be, but I drank it. I gave it a shot because I was told, oh, this is good. This is really, really good. I'm like, oh, I don't think it will be. and I drank it, and it was like drinking cake. Like it was right. Yeah, it was really good. I was like, ooh, this has the potential to be dangerous. It was over ice. It wasn't a hot drink, but it was definitely probably my favorite find in terms of a consumable content over the holiday season. So
nice.
Yeah. But hot chocolate, yeah, hot chocolate after any outdoor activity, I feel like is a baseline. Like, yeah, that's where it's at.
Yeah, for sure. And the ones that have like the coffee crisp or the after 8 hot chocolates, oh, that's when you're getting into the fun territory.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go have one now. Let's wrap things up. And next time we will talk to you. We don't know what the next episode's going to be because it could be a prediction, but we haven't predicted that yet. So wait around and find out, guys. Again, like, subscribe, and share the Real Collective podcast, both on YouTube and then on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I am Brendan McKeigan. This is Sean Tassé. And until next time, keep it real.
Collective.